Have you ever felt the urge to shout out your brand's message, but you've hesitated, fearing judgment or criticism? You're not alone. In this video, I'd like to share a story that mirrors the concerns of many small business owners. Earlier this week, I met an inspiring young business owner with a fantastic brand. He's got it all going for him. But there's a catch. He's reluctant to put his face out there. Does that sound familiar? In this online age, if you're not visible, you might as well be invisible. Your story, your values, your brand's essence are what makes you different from the competition. And with so much choice, different is probably more important than better. Yet, so many of us shy away from self-promotion and publicity. Why is that? Imposter syndrome has got a part to play in this conundrum. Imagine having a secret that no matter your achievements, accolades, or successes, a secret that whispers in your ear, you don't belong here, you're a fraud. This, in essence, is the shadow of imposter syndrome. First identified by clinical psychologists Dr. Pauline Clance and Dr. Suzanne Imes in the 1970s, imposter syndrome describes the internal experience of believing you're not as competent as others perceive you to be. It's not mere modesty, it's a crippling doubt, it's a fear that you'll be found out. In the realm of self-promotion and personal branding, this syndrome is particularly insidious. How? Because the very act of self-promotion requires one to put themselves forward, to stand in the spotlight and say, I have value, I have expertise. But the spectre of imposter syndrome makes this declaration feel like a lie, even if it's rooted in truth. Think of it this way. You've built a business from scratch, you've nurtured it with blood, sweat and tears. Yet when it's time to share your journey, to inspire others with your narrative, a nagging voice holds you back. Who are you to advise others? What if they discover you're not as good as you seem? This internal narrative can be paralyzing, but here's the heartening part. You're not alone. Some of the most accomplished individuals, from best-selling authors to renowned scientists, they have grappled with imposter syndrome. They've felt the fear, the doubt, and the insecurity, yet they've pushed through, they've overcome it. Addressing imposter syndrome isn't about faking it till you make it. It's about grounding yourself in reality. It's recognizing that expertise is not about knowing everything, it's about continuous growth. It's understanding that everyone, at some point, has felt out of their depth. So when venturing into self-promotion, remember this, your story, your journey, it has value. Every misstep, every victory has shaped you. You've earned your place not by mere chance, but through hard work, dedication, and a passion for your craft. Imposter syndrome might never vanish entirely, but with understanding, self-awareness, and a community that supports and validates you, you can diminish its power. You can step into the spotlight, not as an imposter, but as a beacon of inspiration, authenticity, and genuine expertise. Then there's the spotlight effect. We often think we're being watched and judged, far more than we actually are. This cognitive bias has its roots in our egocentric viewpoint. We're naturally the center of our own worlds, and thus we tend to believe we're also the focal point for others. Our intense self-consciousness, especially during the moments we perceive as embarrassing or important, magnifies this effect. And of course, there's the age-old fear of criticism. Nobody wants to be the subject of negative talk, right? The fear of criticism is deeply ingrained within the human psyche, but recognizing and confronting this fear is crucial for personal growth and for our happiness. While avoiding all criticism is unrealistic, understanding its roots and learning to manage and utilize it effectively can transform this fear from a debilitating force into a tool for self-improvement. But let's pause and reflect. Who is this critic? Do they know the ins and outs of your industry, the nuances of your craft, or the journey that you've embarked on? More often than not, they don't. Many online critics or keyboard warriors, they thrive on throwing shades without any real contribution of their own. Ignore them. Now, if you relate to any of these, please don't worry. There are ways to navigate these fears. First, start small. A brief post, a short video. And if the camera intimidates you, how about audio content? One of the suggestions I made to that business owner earlier this week was, rather than dive straight into producing a YouTube channel, why not start an audio podcast based around just simple conversations with interesting customers? The idea of diving headfirst into a vast ocean of digital self-promotion can be quite daunting. Imagining yourself immediately front and center in the spotlight, presenting on platforms like YouTube, it can feel overwhelming. But here's a game-changing notion for you. Why sprint when you can first take some baby steps. Starting small is not about limiting your potential, but it's about building confidence, about building momentum. It's about getting comfortable with the unfamiliar, warming up to the idea of sharing your voice and your story with the world. A simple post on LinkedIn about a day in the life of your business, or a tweet sharing a nugget of wisdom, or a brief video clip introducing your brand, it can be an excellent first step. These are not monumental tasks, but they set the ball rolling. They allow you to dip your toes into the water of self-promotion. But let's tackle the elephant in the room, the camera. Not everyone feels at ease in front of a camera, and that is perfectly okay. I hated it when I started recording myself for YouTube videos. I've often told the story of how I used to press record and then sit there in silence, staring down the lens for 10 minutes. Hated it. The beauty of today's digital landscape is its versatility. If video content feels too intimidating, you can use audio instead. We've got this age of Spotify and Apple podcasts, so audio content has seen a massive rise in popularity and engagement. Case in point, audio podcasts. That format offers a unique blend of intimacy and flexibility, so you can engage your audience during their morning commute, their workout session at the gym, or their evening relaxation time. With audio, you can build a connection with your audience without that added pressure of visual content. Remember then, every skyscraper began with a single brick. Start small, find your comfort zone, and then gradually expand your content horizons. Whether it's a tweet, a podcast episode, or eventually a YouTube series, every step you take is a step closer to sharing your invaluable brand story with the whole world. Collaboration is key. Teaming up can make the whole process less daunting and even more fun. When we think about collaboration, we often imagine that we're teaming up with others to amplify our voice, but it's not just about amplifying, it's about positioning. If we draw inspiration from Donald Miller's Story Brand, which is a brilliant book, highly recommend you read that one, remember that in the story of your brand, you are not the hero, your customer is. Your role is to be the guide, the mentor, the one with the expertise and the tools to help the hero, your customer, succeed in their journey. By collaborating, by joining forces with others, you can better position yourself as that guide. When you focus on guiding and helping, the fear of criticism diminishes. After all, it's not about you, it's about them, the heroes. The clearer this becomes, the easier it is to step out, share and shine. Empower yourself, take a course, learn about digital presence. Knowledge is a really powerful antidote to the fear of putting yourself out there. Every expert that you admire, every idol you look up to, every role model whose work has left a lasting impression, just rewind their stories for a moment. Way before all of their subscribers, awards and accolades, every single one was standing where you are right now, right at the beginning, filled with doubt, uncertainty, and facing an unknown path ahead. One of the most empowering actions that you can take is to immerse yourself in learning. The digital age has democratized knowledge. Today, without even leaving our homes, we can learn from the brightest minds globally through courses, workshops, webinars, even YouTube videos. Each module you complete, each video you watch, each certificate you earn, and each new skill you acquire, it's not just a notch on your belt, but it's a step closer to becoming the best possible version of yourself. But here's another angle to consider when it comes to empowerment: observation. Take a deep dive into the archives of those that you admire. So watch their earliest content, read their initial writing, listen to their first performances. You'll often find raw, unpolished, and imperfect work. But that's what makes it beautiful. It's a testament to their journey. It's a journey marked by continuous learning, persistence, and evolution. What's heartening about that approach of observation is the realization that they too had their first times. They too made mistakes, they faced criticism, they had their moments of self-doubt. But they persevered, empowered by a thirst for learning and a passion for what they do. Your role models became the giants they are today because they recognized the power of knowledge. They understood that every piece of content consumed and every course completed, every lesson learned was a brick in the foundation of their growth. So when you feel the weight of criticism or the paralyzing grip of self-doubt, remember this: empowerment is in your hands. You can invest in your growth, you can learn voraciously, you can remind yourself that every expert was once a beginner. And as you chart your path, know that someday someone's going to look back at your earliest work and hopefully draw inspiration from your journey. Another way to overcome the fear is to gather your tribe. Surround yourself with those who uplift you. A little pep talk, some constructive feedback, it all helps. At our very core, humans are social creatures. From ancient civilizations all the way through to modern society, we've always sought to belong, to be part of a collective being. This collective, or tribe as Seth Godin terms it in his book of the same name, isn't just about numbers, it's about making a meaningful connection. When facing the looming shadows of criticism or self-doubt, remember this: you don't have to face it alone. Your tribe, your circle of supporters, well-wishers and like-minded individuals, they can be your anchor. In Tribe, Godin comes up with the idea that the internet has endearingly revived our ancient need for tribes. Thanks to digital platforms, we can now connect with a vast array of groups based on shared values, passions, or goals. And this is not limited to personal passions. Professionals, artists, entrepreneurs, anyone can find or indeed create their own tribe. But why is a tribe so essential? Because a tribe validates, supports, and amplifies. Within a tribe, your fears are shared, understood, often assuaged. They offer a safe space, allowing you to take risks, experiment, and grow without the overbearing weight of external judgment. But here is the most empowering part. In gathering your tribe, you're not just a passive member, you can be a leader. As Godin highlights in his book, leadership in the context of tribes is about instigating change and rallying people around a shared vision or goal. It's about creating an environment where members empower each other. So if the fear of criticism holds you back, take a page out of Godin's book. Start gathering your tribe. These could be fellow learners, peers from within your industry, or just friends who share your passion. Engage with them, share your fears and aspirations, and actively participate in your collective growth. And remember, your tribe isn't just there for the good times. They're the ones who'll offer you constructive criticism, the kind that builds rather than breaks. They'll celebrate your successes and they'll help you navigate your failures. In a world packed to the gills with noise, criticism, and constant judgment, your tribe is your sanctuary. It's where you're reminded that you're not alone in your journey. And as Godin so accurately puts it, with a tribe, you can make a bigger impact and even change the world. Shift your mindset. Think of self-promotion not as showing off, but as sharing value. Every piece of criticism will not be constructive, and that's okay. Our mind is such a powerful storyteller. We're constantly telling ourselves tales about potential successes, impending doom, opportunities, and roadblocks. And that's all usually before I've had my first coffee in the morning. But here's what matters. Often, the most significant barriers are not real. Or they're not even out in the world. They're right here inside our heads. When contemplating self-promotion, what narrative dominates your thoughts? Is it the fear of being branded an imposter? The dread of overstepping? Or perhaps the paralyzing anxiety of not being good enough? These aren't just thoughts, they're deeply embedded stories that we tell ourselves. They frequently overshadow our potential and our aspirations. I've already mentioned Seth Godin in this video, but he often speaks about the lizard brain, the primitive part of our brain that's responsible for fear and resistance. It's this part of the brain that crafts tales of self-doubt and caution. And while its intent might be to protect us from perceived threats, in the modern world it often translates to inertia and missed opportunities. To navigate the quagmire of self-promotion, we have to recognise and challenge these self-told stories. So ask yourself, are your fears based on rational factors, past experiences, or are they just conjectures birthed by self-doubt? Take time to reflect on the successes in your life. Each achievement, no matter how small, it stands in defiance of a self-doubt story that you overcame. It's evidence of your capability. It's saying you can do this. A mindset shift isn't just about positive thinking, it's about grounded, balanced thinking. It's about acknowledging fears, but also recognizing strength. It's about embracing the possibility of failure, but also reveling in the potential for success. Start reframing your narrative. Instead of, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what if I succeed? Instead of viewing self-promotion as a vanity exercise, see it as a means to share value, to contribute, to make a positive difference. In a world packed with content, arguably too much content, your unique voice, experiences, and insights have got a place. They matter. But to ensure they resonate with the world, you must first overcome this internal critic. You've got to challenge the stories of self-doubt and bravely step into the world of self-promotion. So the next time you hesitate, remember this: the biggest stories holding you back are not the ones others tell about you. They're the ones that you tell yourself. In today's world, your voice and your story, these are your most potent tools. Each tweet, post, or video is testament to your journey. It's testament to your values, to your aspirations. But beyond the technology, beyond the platforms, it is the human element, the authenticity that resonates most. Hesitation to self-promote is natural. Doubts, fears, and apprehensions are all part of the human experience. But remember, every moment of hesitation is also a moment of opportunity slipping away. The world isn't waiting for you, but it will welcome you if you're willing to put yourself out there. Think about the creators and the entrepreneurs you admire online and the voices that inspire and move you. They too had their beginnings, their moments of self-doubt. Yet they chose to step forward, to share, to be vulnerable. Today, their stories inspire thousands, if not millions of people. Your brand, your story has the same potential. It carries the power to inspire, connect, and make a genuine impact. But for it to do so, you must be willing to let it be seen and heard. So as you stand on the edge of making that decision to self-promote, know this. The world doesn't just need more content. It needs meaningful, authentic narratives. It needs your insights, your experiences, and your unique perspective. So take that leap, step out of the shadows, let your brand shine. No more excuses. Get started today and put yourself out there because your story can truly make a difference. Now it's your turn. The journey to embracing the spotlight and unleashing your brand's potential starts with a single step. It starts with one action. And I'm here to guide and support you, but I need your help to do that. First, hit the like button. It not only supports this channel, but it also helps more people just like you find the encouragement they need to step out and shine to their full potential. Then I want to hear from you. Dive into the comment section below. Share your story, your challenges, your aspirations. Remember, every time that you share an insight, it might be the very push that someone else needs to take their own leap. And if you find value in content like this, if you believe in the power of storytelling and personal growth, make sure you press subscribe. Join our tribe, our community of passionate individuals who are eager to grow, learn, and make an impact. So let's do this together. Like, share your thoughts, subscribe, and then together let's embark on this exciting journey to illuminate the digital world with our stories.